Okay, it's gonna take a while, I think. Oh, okay. We are live. I thought it was gonna take a while, but we are live here once again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Nerdy Mark channel. I am, of course, Sid the Nerdy Mark. This is my Dynamite and NXT review. Now we got a lot of big things going on. NXT right now is gearing up for both War Games and for Survivor Series. So, excuse me. It's a pretty big event for for NXT for WWE. AEW on the other hand, they're still reeling in out after Full Gear. We're 2 weeks removed from it, but it's still some of the effects of Full Gear can still be noticed. So that's there. Give me 1 second. I'm going to share this stream out real quick. Not to everybody. I'm probably just gonna share it to my boys. Honest to God, I know. I'm just telling you guys what's going on here because I don't care about oh man, I have to put on a show for everybody. Well, I mean I do, but also I don't mind showing you guys all this because this is the struggle that I go through. Look, you know how like hip hop artists in the beginning, they used to stand out in the streets and they used to like give out mixtapes to everyone so that they'd listen. This is just like that. It's just like that. It's like, hey, go watch my live stream, or hey, go watch my videos. Unfortunately, I'm not Logan Paul yet. So that when that happens, I know I won't have to do it, but it is what it is. Anyway, let me just do this. Okay, so by the way, I forgot to log in my Full Gear challenge yesterday. I did do Full Gear challenge. I did chest yesterday. I did 3 sets of 15. 3 sets of 15 push-ups, then 3 sets of 15 dumbbell flies like this, lying down on this guy right here, and then also lying down on that. Kind of, I did a kind of like an incline dumbbell press kind of a thing. So it's just to kind of work up the upper chest a little bit. So yeah, and also I mean I could see like my arms looking pretty cut. So I don't know if you could tell too much, but yeah. Up yours, Sean Spears. Anyway, one quick thing I wanted to address. So a couple of things. First things first, over this past week, Jim Cornette got fired. Well, he resigned from NWA Power. We all know he got fired. So because he made he made some racist comments. I mean, it wasn't like super blatant, but yeah, it would have offended somebody. And look, I get that. We live in this. I've talked about it a lot. I'm like, man, we can't take a joke these days, and we're all so sensitive. But here's the thing: when I say you can't take a joke, I'm talking about if someone makes fun of you. Like, yeah, you need to have the thick skin to take that joke. Like, even this goes for me too. Okay, sometimes I can't take a joke on myself, but when people make jokes about your race, people are doing stuff like that. Now, I'm not gonna lie. Racist jokes are there. I've heard many of them myself, and I've laughed at them before, but it's not something I would do on television or now on YouTube, which this is this is just as big as television. So you really need to be careful about what you're saying if you're broadcasting to a vast audience. That kind of talk, if you want to make all the racist jokes you want at home, go for it. I don't care, because that's the privacy of your own home. That's your prerogative. That's your thing. I'm not going to come and tell you what to do. But when it comes to your job, when it comes to professionally coming into and doing commentary and you make comments like that, that's not cool. That's not okay, because you're putting you're giving your company that you work for a bad reputation. Just like if you don't at your job, if you mess up at your job, what's going to happen? Your company's reputation is going to suffer. It's the same exact thing. I just wish people would realize that. But at the end of the day, Jim Cornette leaving NWA, if he's not able to be professional, good on NWA for releasing the man. I mean, I know he said that he got someone said something. Okay. I know. I'm sure. I know it's not. I know he didn't get fired. I know he got. He resigned, whatever. But still, I mean, that's just all I have to say about that. Keep those jokes. If you got to make racist jokes, make them at home. Just don't bring them here. Don't bring them to your place of work. Okay, please do your job properly. So that's all. Another thing I wanted to address, honestly, and a lot of you guys may, if you watch this gentleman, if you watched him over the years or over the months, maybe he is a friend of mine, as you all know. But DJ Storms, he has decided to just up and leave and go away from YouTube for a little bit and step away from the whole YouTube space. I know he's going through some stuff right now. School, work, and some other personal issues, and I don't want to get into. If you don't know what they are, I'm not really going to get into it, but I do hope that he finds what he's looking for, and we see him come back once again and do what he does. So, DJ Storms, I don't know if I'm pretty sure you're not watching this, but if you are, hang in there, buddy. You got this. I believe in you. Okay. With that being said, let's dive right in. Hold on, let me just answer this. Anyway, so give me one second. Let me do this. So anyway, let's dive right into this week's flagship wrestling shows as I move here like this. And let's start with AEW Dynamite. So I don't have bubbly today. I just have water. But yeah, let's start with Dynamite. We begin AEW Dynamite with a singles match between Nick Jackson and Rey Fenix. Great match. I loved it. This was awesome. I thought both these guys do a great job. I'm not going to go spot for spot, but I will say this. This is my first time seeing Nick Jackson in singles capacity. Excuse me. I just had dinner, so this is my first time seeing Nick Jackson in singles capacity. I believe the last time he wrestled, oh my God, sorry, as a singles superstar was apparently back in 2015. So that's a pretty long time ago. And the thing is, I actually wasn't even watching wrestling at that time. So yeah, you guys know how I got back into wrestling. Just you can go. I have tons of videos on that already. It's actually on my Nerd Discussion too, so you'll know about that. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, it's been 4 years since Nick Jackson, wrestled in singles capacity, and he kind of has to because Matt, unfortunately, is not medically cleared to wrestle this week. So the whole story is, could Nick Jackson hold his own as a single star in this match? Meanwhile, Rey Fenix has had many singles matches throughout the years. I have seen some of them myself. Yes, I have. And so I would say that, I thought this match was going to be very one-sided, but no, not at all. Nick Jackson held his own as a single star. He did what he had to do, but of course, unfortunately, to no avail because Rey Fenix did hit a amazing looking spinning brain buster onto Nick Jackson and won the match. Afterwards, we did have Nick going for the handshake onto Phoenix, but Phoenix just rejects it and goes up to the ramp. So it looks like the tensions are still there between these two men. Looking to see if this is going to culminate in some sort of storyline or something like that. I'm not sure. We will see. Next match on the card was Hikaru Shida taking on Britt Baker. I actually like this match a lot too. I will go ahead and say this. On NXT television, okay, this was the best females match I've seen so far. This is my opinion, okay? I think this was the best females match I've seen so far. I think Britt Baker and Hikaru Shida are extremely compatible in the ring, and they do a great job. Now, Britt Baker did suffer a nosebleed later on in the match, which kind of did come to her detriment a little bit because Hikaru Shida did win this match via. Hold on, I'm reading this. Hold on. Via a roll up. Actually, it was just a roll up. So on NXT, I meant on AEW television. I'm sorry, Tim. I'm sorry. Anyway, yeah, hey Tim, good to have you here. But anyway, so I like this match a lot. So this was good stuff. But up next, we got an interesting promo package from the Dark Order. So it starts off with this rather portly gentleman with glasses going on a subway train, and he gets bullied by a couple of guys because they're assholes. They literally break his glasses. Why would you do that? I'm as someone who wears glasses, I stand by that portly gentleman, as in a move of solidarity. Anyway, but gets onto a subway train and sees this infomercial to join the Dark Order with this weird, pleasant music in the background and this guy narrating, and then like the evil Uno mask appearing, glitching on and off. It was pretty cool. So I'm actually a little bit more interested in Dark Order now. They seem to be more of a cultish, a kind of a group, which is awesome. And they kind of hinted at it a little bit last week when they gave the mask to Marco Stunt. So, I mean, I think this is kind of a good continuation somewhat from there. So that was awesome. I like this package. And also I so I want to see who will join the Dark Order. So, if it's anything like the Ministry of Dark, I hope it's not the Ministry of Darkness and we have Tony Khan showing up and saying, "It's me, Cody. It was me all along, Cody." That's probably not going to happen. So I have no problem with that. Anyway, up next, we have the Dynamite Dozen Battle Royal. So this was an interesting match. The winners of this match, the two winners of this match, will next week face off for a little, big, huge, beautiful diamond ring. So, okay. So, the competitors were, I'm just reading them off. Pentagon, Chucky T, Jimmy Havoc, Joey Janela, Orange Cassidy, Jungle Boy, and Marco Stunt, MJF, as well as Sonny Kiss. If I missed anybody, Tim, you can leave it in the chat. But, those are just some of the main... Oh, Hangman Adam Page, important guy. This was interesting. It just felt like and of course, Billy Gunn. Badass Billy Gunn was in this one, and that was pretty cool. So, I thought this was an okay match. Didn't really care much for this. Felt like a condensed battle royal. Felt like the condensed version of the Casino Battle Royal. That's kind of what it felt, or even the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, if you will. It was fine. I guess a couple of things. We had Sonny Kiss twerking for Billy Gunn. Billy Gunn was kind of into it because we all know, as per his theme music, he's an ass man. So he tries to do the same thing, but MJF dumps a Sonny Kiss out of the ring, who MJF does play spoiler for the whole thing because, he's a dastardly heel, and we all want to see someone choke him out with his stupid ass scarf. So anyway, I'm just kidding. No, I'm not kidding. I actually would love to see that. Anyway, yes, I know he's a gimmick. Just leave me alone, okay? In kayfabe terms, I would like to see someone choke him with a scarf. All right, jeez, I have to explain everything now these days. Anyway, so we had a couple of eliminations. In the beginning, we had Pentagon getting eliminated pretty quickly because Rey Fenix came out to, do the high five for him and do the Cero Miedo, but takes off his mask. It's Christopher Daniels. And I believe Jimmy Havoc eliminated him. Oh, yeah, Kip Sabian is in this too. Super bad Kip Sabian. I forgot to mention. So, yeah, so he gets eliminated pretty early on. Joey Janela gets eliminated when he's going for a top rope move, and Sean Spears comes in and decks him with a chair. So, F you, Sean Spears, up yours again. You called me fat, and you knocked off my one of my favorite wrestlers, Joey Janela. I hate you. Anyway, so that was fine, but finally, it seemed like it was gonna. Oh yeah, and Orange Cassidy came in with some devastating kicks onto Billy Gunn, which I don't know how they got cleared by Tony Khan and the EVPs, but that looked absolutely brutal. But yeah, that just looked crazy. Jimmy Havoc with the staple gun, great stuff. Finally, Billy Gunn had the whole like spot where everybody gangs up on him, and he does the whole like that thing, the Super Saiyan or Incredible Hulk, whatever the hell they do. Kind of like what Big Show and Braun Strowman and all the other like giant people in WWE used to do. Billy Gunn, he's like the biggest guy in the ring. So, excuse me. So that made sense. Now, I think that this was, like I said, it was fine. But in the end, it looked like Jungle Boy and Adam Page were going to face off. But finally, it was MJF who came out, eliminated Jungle Boy, and it's MJF versus Hangman Page. This has kind of been going on since Fyter Fest. So I'm interested to see. I kind of hope Page wins this match and completely kills MJF. As if you watch Being the Elite, you will see that Adam Page is kind of breaking off of the Elite and kind of doing his own thing now. So he's kind of kind of his own guy at this point. So interested to see what he's going to do in the solo run. I do hope this leads eventually to the AEW World Title because I would like to see that. I would like to see him win the title. Maybe I don't know if it's going to be off of Jericho, but I just want to see him with a title. That's all I want to see. Chris Jericho came in, cuts a fantastic promo. He comes in and he kind of explains because last week he threw a bit of a tantrum. He tries to say he's sorry, but he can't say it. He just can't say it. For once the Le Champion is just unable to say something. Is speechless for once. So he gives the mic to Jake Hager, who apologizes for him. It talks. Oh my God. So every time he wanted to say sorry, he gave the mic to Jake Hager, and that was funny. I like that. So he basically says that he's going to throw a huge party next week, a huge Thanksgiving party, if you will, and it's going to have games and a lot of fun and food. And he didn't mention a little bit of the bubbly, but I'm sure there's going to be quite a bit of it. He's even promised an aquarium, so maybe the bubbly is in the aquarium. I don't know. Let me get a drink. So yeah, all that was happening. SCU interrupts. And Scorpio Sky says, you know what? It takes a big man like you. And he said he used a specific word, which I kind of forget what he said. He basically says that he basically just rubs it into Chris Jericho that he gave him his first pinfall in AEW. And he kind of uses reverse psychology, to basically book himself in a title match against Chris Jericho for the AEW title next week. That's kind of what happens. Like Chris Jericho grabs his hand and shakes it and says, "We shook on it. It's official." So that was funny. I loved it. So I would definitely just go and seek out this promo because it was great. That's what happened. And finally, that's what happened, I think, right? Or did someone else invade at this point? Oh yeah, no. We had Jericho delivering the Judas Effect to Scorpio Sky. Afterwards, we had Proud and Powerful coming in with the little sock with the hard things filled in it. That sounded wrong. And hitting SCU, coming out with handcuffs, which was crazy. Then JR had a very interesting comment saying that they know how handcuffs work. Now, between the Jim Cornette comment and Jim Ross comment, I'm like, man, what's going on with these announcers? They're just getting all sorts of off color this week, aren't they? But at the end of the day, this one I can kind of understand just because this one is talking about Santana and Ortiz. These two basically play thugs on TV. So, they would have been to jail many times. So they know how handcuffs work. That makes sense in my opinion. But still, I think JR should have been a little bit more careful and should have picked a different date to make that comment. But it's okay. It's okay. It's no whatever. But still, I think this is what I'm talking about. We need to be careful what we say when we're on live television, folks. Please. And finally, we had Nick Jackson showing up a little bit. No, not Nick Jackson. We had Marco Stunt and Jungle Boy coming out. Then Luchasaurus comes out and has a standoff with Jake Hager. That was pretty awesome. I would love to see that match at some point. Hell, Jake Hager, Luchasaurus, and Wardlow. That match I need to see. Anyway, so that was a really good segment. Jericho with a great promo. Scorpio Sky, not too shabby on the mic either. I mean, we all know that. I mean, he's the one who does the whole "this is the worst town I've ever been in" thing. So, I mean, he's good. He's pretty solid. So, this leads to Luchasaurus taking on Peter Avalon, who basically gets squashed in like 30 seconds. I don't really need to say anything else, so let's just move on. Then we had Private Party taking on Santana Ortiz. This is a tribute match to their friend Matt Travis, who tragically did pass away. So rest in peace to Matt Travis. Really good match here. I thoroughly enjoyed this one. This is the one where they bring the whole sock filled with rocks or soap or whatever out, and Nick Jackson comes in and just yoinks it out of their hands and kind of just kind of inserts himself just kind of a little bit. This distracts Santana and Ortiz, allowing the Private Party to hit gin and juice on those guys, giving them their first pinfall loss on AEW. So that was pretty cool. Afterwards, we had Sammy Guevara coming in and trying to beat up on... Yeah, Sammy Guevara came in. He was vlogging while he was trying to beat up Private Party and Nick Jackson. Then Dustin Rhodes came out and evened out the odds. He beat up everybody. He beat up Sammy G, took his camera and did like a selfie kind of a thing. That was interesting. So, and I don't understand. I mean, this was cool to see Dustin Rhodes again, but I don't understand what this was for. But I mean, it was cool though. It's cool to see him, but still, I was like, okay, fine, whatever. But yeah. And finally, we do have our main event. Jon Moxley taking on Darby Allin. This was a pretty good match, too. I thought this was great. I liked it a lot. Excuse me. Darby Allin had a body bag with Mox written on it, or with the tape, with like some tape when it said Mox on it, I like that Jon Moxley's coming out from the crowd. Because, and he explained this in like an interview. He said it's because he is defiant. He's a kind of an anomaly. So, why the hell? And he doesn't care. He doesn't give a shit about the rules. So why the hell will we come out from the entrance ramp? He should be coming out from the audience. And a lot of people may think it's a callback to the Shield, but it kind of is. But also, just the fact that his character is that of a rebellious psychopath. Yeah, it makes sense. Before the match could even start, we have Darby Allin just beat the shit out of Jon Moxley. That was pretty cool. It was good. I go watch the match. That's all I'm gonna say. Finally, the match ended with Jon Moxley hitting a super paradigm shift, literally hitting a paradigm shift from the top rope to Darby Allin to finally win the match. That was pretty awesome. And then the AEW ends with Jon Moxley saying, "Who's on the top of the food chain now?" So, yeah, that was pretty cool. I mean, I don't know if he's being poised for a title push at some point in the future, but we'll see. I mean, maybe not now. I think right now, since Scorpio Sky is getting a title shot, let him get that match, and then we'll see. Maybe afterwards, down the line, we can see Adam Page versus Chris Jericho. Not Adam Page. Adam Page versus Jon Moxley for the AEW World Championship. That's a match I'd love to see. Though I do want a four corners match with Moxley, Allen, Havoc, and Janela. I want those four people in a match, or I want those four people in the ring in some capacity. So I would like to see that. Anyway, but we end to AEW, pretty good show. Not as, in my opinion, not as impactful as last week, but still a good show. Still enjoyed it. Let's move on to NXT. So NXT starts off because on Raw, Triple H basically issued, basically called out Raw and SmackDown and said, "All right, my doors are open. If anyone wants to step up, step up." And we see a lot of Raw and SmackDown cameos this episode. We'll talk about them as I progress. But anyway, oh jeez, man, couldn't get that burp out. Finally did. Anyway, we finally have Becky Lynch, the Raw Women's Champion, the man, coming out, making her way into the ring. She talks about Bayley and talks about Shayna Baszler. So that was all there. She kind of calls out Shayna, but in her place, Rhea Ripley comes out. One of Shayna's opponents at War Games this Saturday. She comes out and she says, "So you're the man, huh? Let's see if you got a set of balls." Now, I would say I would do the whole "oh my god" burn thing, but that was pretty low hanging fruit, Rhea. Come on, man. You get it. Okay. But you know what? It was good joke. Good stuff. Great A for effort. Anyway, but the match was a lot better. This was a really good match. I think this is kind of a dream match of sorts. So I feel like both women had similar hard-hitting styles, which made it very compatible. However, Shayna and Marina and Jessamine came in to spoil the fun. So that match ended out in a bit of a DQ, and finally Rhea and Becky joined forces to take out the Horsewomen, so that was pretty cool. Then we move on to Kona Reeves coming into the ring, but he's ambushed by Ricochet, who's representing Monday Night Raw at this point. But it's so great to see Ricochet back in an NXT ring, and he comes out and he's going to face Matt Riddle in what was a fantastic match. Also, a really good match here. I loved it. So, in the middle of the match, we did have Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro coming out, and they tried to basically distract them. But regardless, we did have Matt Riddle winning this match, I believe. Yes. I'm just gonna. Oh no. Yeah, we did have Matt Riddle winning this match because Ricochet got distracted. Afterwards, we had Shinsuke and Cesaro coming back in the ring, beating up on both Riddle and Ricochet. Roderick Strong comes in, chases both those guys off. Then Matt Riddle plants Roderick Strong. Out comes Finn Balor, beats up on Matt Riddle. So, yeah, that's pretty much what happened. So that was he basically attacked Shinsuke Nakamura because he's going to face him and AJ at Survivor Series. So that made sense. And then so good stuff, good match here. There's a lot of brawls throughout this episode. So as it is to be expected, it is the go home show for both War Games as well as Survivor Series. So yeah. Then after that, we had the tag team match between the Undisputed Era and the Revival, another dream match of sorts this week. Awesome stuff. This is exactly what I wanted to see in the match between these two teams. Great stuff. What else do you want me to say? Go watch this match. I'm telling you, go watch this match. Absolutely, go check it out because this is what I want to see in my tag team wrestling. I think, honestly, NXT, they've seen what AEW is doing for the tag team division, and they're like, oh, yeah? Look at what we got, So this is fantastic. And I know they're not doing it just to spite AEW. They're doing it because, we kind of sort of have to build up for a tag match at TakeOver War Games or at TakeOver – no, not TakeOver. At Survivor Series. Yeah, it might as well just be called TakeOver Survivor Series, frankly. But anyway, excuse me. Finally, we do have the Undisputed Era winning while hitting the high-low onto Scott Dawson to win this match. This was great. I don't need to say anything else. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Then we had NXT UK Women's Champion Kaylee Ray, who has been added to Shayna Baszler's War Games team. She takes on Dakota Kai in a pretty good match as well. Kind of definitely does pale in comparison to the match we had before, which, I mean, I can't. It's unfair to compare, but I kind of have to. So this was good. This was fine. Kaylee Ray does finally beat Dakota Kai, but Dakota did get a few licks in, so that was fine. But at the end of the day, it was the NXT UK Women's Champion who was standing strong. After this, we had a bunch of women from Raw and SmackDown coming in. I'm not going to name everybody, but they came in, and we had one of which was Kylie Sane. We had the NXT Shayna Baszler's War Games Team Shayna coming in and helping out. At one point, we had Io Shirai and Kairi Sane having a bit of a tense stare down. Both women are heels, so interesting. So interesting to see that. I do hope that in the Women's Survivor Series team we have Io Shirai, so that we can see Io versus Kairi. That's something I really want to see. But yeah, honestly, I think just Asuka and Kairi just need to return to NXT. They don't need to stay here anymore. But finally, Nikki Cross came in with a trash can lid and cleaned house, attacking all the Raw, and all the NXT superstars. That was great. Good to see Nikki back on NXT again. So hopefully she will be in the future. I hope she does stick around in the long run. We got another tag team match, albeit not as good of a tag team match as Era vs. Revival, but we have a match between the Viking Raiders and the Forgotten Sons. It's not bad. I'm not going to say it was a terrible match, but it was decent. It was decent enough. Nothing really too much to write home about. Jackson Riker up to his old tricks, trying to get involved for his team. He gets ejected. Of course, he gets sent out. What's the word I'm looking for? Definitively, he gets sent out definitively when Ivar, I think, Hansen. Okay, I'm going to call him Hansen. Shut up. When Hansen, I know what a smark. I know. But Ivar, right? It's Ivar. When Ivar hits a huge dive off of the top rope to send Jackson Riker packing. There was a spot where Ivar and then both Forgotten Sons, Cutler and Blake, they did like triple flips. That was pretty cool. I like that. Finally, we do have the Viking Raiders hitting the Viking experience onto, I believe it was Blake, to win this match. It was whatever. So yeah, it was fine for what it was. It was okay. Yeah, let's just move on. Next, finally we do get our main event. We have Adam Cole, baby, taking on Dominik Dijakovic in a ladder match very similar to what happened last week. The winner of this ladder match has to retrieve the proverbial briefcase, and they will get a very significant advantage at War Games. So, great match here. I wouldn't say it was a little less chaotic than last week's match, but it was still really good. Adam Cole took a lot of punishment. Dijakovic sets up the ladder on the turnbuckle. He throws Adam Cole at it, who gets hurt. He falls on the ground. The ladder falls on Adam Cole's leg. So yeah, he got twice the punishment for the price of one. Buy one get one free, right? This was honestly a great match, albeit a little bit shorter than last week. I feel maybe it's just me, but I felt like last week's match was a little longer. Anyway, the match finally ended when both Cole and Dijakovic are on top of the ladder. They're both reaching for the briefcase. Adam Cole grabs the briefcase, decks Dijakovic on the head, who falls on a ladder which was kind of bridged between the climbing ladder and the turnbuckle. So he falls on it and breaks the ladder. Adam Cole retrieves the briefcase, retrieves the briefcase and wins the match, winning a significant advantage for the Undisputed Era at War Games. And then we had Raw and SmackDown superstars coming in, doing more invasion stuff. Everybody just everybody just attacking each other. So Raw and SmackDown take out the Undisputed Era, and then Out comes, and then they kind of fight each other. Raw and SmackDown do. Out comes Drew McIntyre, hits a Claymore on Dominik Dijakovic. Keith Lee comes in and attacks Drew McIntyre, hits a huge spirit bomb on him. At one point, we had Seth Rollins come out. Finally, we had Seth Rollins coming out, right? Yeah. Oh no. Then Adam Cole got a super kick onto. Oh yeah, no. And then we had Ivar and Keith Lee joining forces to take out everybody, all the Raw and SmackDown superstars on the outside. They both did a huge double suicide dive and kind of sacrificed themselves. Adam Cole is the final one who is standing, but Seth Rollins, the Beast Slayer, the Twitter Slayer now. Oh my God. Anyway, Seth Rollins comes out to a shower of boos, hits a huge super kick onto Adam Cole, hits a huge super kick to Adam Cole. He's about to go for the curb stomp, but Daddy's home. Tommaso Ciampa comes out. He gets into the ring, has a stare down. He keeps telling Seth Rollins that this is his house and whatnot. They have a huge fight, and NXT goes off air. Then after NXT went off air, the fight did continue. We had the Undisputed Era getting involved. Ciampa and Rollins team up briefly to take them out, and they stare each other down. And there's a bunch of Ciampa chants, and then Seth, there's this chance. There's Seth's not cool chants, which was awesome. I loved it. But then Seth Rollins goes out and he tells Ciampa, "I'll see you on Sunday, buddy." So it looks like Ciampa is going to be on Team NXT. So I'm thinking the team for NXT is going to be Ciampa, Cole, Riddle, probably. I'm sure Riddle, Keith Lee, and possibly, I'm just thinking, and this is just me speculating out loud. And I don't know who else. I don't know who the fifth member could be, but yeah, I think that would be pretty cool. Just to see at least those four. Maybe not Drew McIntyre. What the hell? I don't know. Who knows? Maybe Kevin Owens will join Team NXT. Who knows? Anyway, so that's pretty much it. Overall, both solid shows, but I'm going to say NXT blew AEW out of the water, even if it was with some help from Raw and SmackDown. At the end of the day, NXT was the better show this week, in my opinion. They have to build for Survivor Series and War Games. This week, they actually did a pretty good job of it. Even though it was just littered with brawls, I think there was some really good matches this time too. But as far as my favorite matches on each show, as far as my favorite highlights on both shows, on AEW, definitely Phoenix versus Nick Jackson. Absolutely great match. Chris Jericho's promo was fantastic. I loved it. Britt Baker versus Sheeta was really good. And Moxley versus Darby Allin, obviously. That was great. Of course, Dark Order's promo was good too. As far as NXT is concerned, despite it ending in a DQ, I liked what we got from Lynch and Rhea. God, I forgot. Of course, Undisputed Era versus Revival. What a great match that was. Matt Riddle versus Ricochet was kind of a sleeper hit for me because it was really, really good. Cole versus Dijakovic. Fantastic stuff. So really excited for TakeOver War Games and really, really excited for Survivor Series. So there's both cards are looking really, really good. Now, this Saturday, right before, a few short hours before TakeOver War Games and Survivor Series weekend, me, Tim, and John, part of Armbar Nerds, going to be on this channel. We're going to give our predictions for both shows, and and then after that, after Survivor Series and after War Games, hop on over to Armbar Audio. We're going to do a review. All three of us are. If not, I'll just do a review myself. It's whatever, but I'm sure we'll work something out. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this week. I'm not doing a question mark this week because I'll resume it from next week onward since we don't have pay-per-views for both. Anyway, with that being said, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for tuning in to this live stream. Look forward to this Saturday for TakeOver War Games and Survivor Series predictions. Until then, thank you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Follow your boy on social media. Tell your friends about the Nerdy Mark. And until then, this is Sid signing off. You guys take care. Bye-bye.